the classics, debating who's the better fighter, or in this case, which is the better army. Today, we're going to be pitting two of the most powerful armies in the history of Ninjago, the Fearsome Anacondrai warriors versus the Indestructible Stone Army. Before I go on, this video is not meant to argue which season they appeared in was better, or which army I personally like more. So saying that one should be deducted points because of animation or appearances won't be taken into consideration. This is just a video to determine which fictional army would murder the other in a fictional fight. Yeah, you've gone to that side of YouTube. This is a screw attack, pal. This is a battle to the death. Alright, since we're going to be focusing on two armies, we'll be focusing on each as a whole. So if you're expecting to see a spot in this video to be about certain members of each army pitted against each other, like, say, General Kozu and General Arcturus, that won't happen because, while we have seen Kozu's pros and cons, we haven't seen much of what Arcturus can do. Also, the powers and abilities of the Anacondrai were highlighted in Season 4, where Chen's worshippers turned themselves into Anacondrai. They may not be real Anacondrai, but it's heavily implied that they have the same abilities. Alright, let's get on to the actual video. To measure the characteristics of both factions, we'll be looking at each army's strength, speed, intellect, endurance, and abilities. Alright, this intro has been going on long enough, so let's do something for once. Both armies have super strength that gives them an advantage in the battlefield. One Anacondrai was able to overpower Cole in hand-to-hand combat. The Stone Army, on the other hand, can lift up much more. One Stone Warrior alone was able to hold 3 warriors on his head. To determine the weight of one Stone Warrior, we have to apply the weight of a normal human and combine it to the weight of a full suit of plate armor. Keep in mind the Stone Army are humanoid despite their black skin, facial markings, and whatnot, and we aren't given clear numbers of their weight. In fact, I'm not even sure the writers intended for this to be analyzed too deeply, but let's do it anyways. Alright, so the average weight of a human man is 197.9 pounds, according to Healthline.com. Links for these sources are also in the description, by the way. Also, since the armor design of the Stone Army is based on ancient samurai armor, the average weight of a full suit of armor is around 5 to 25 kilograms. Alright, let's say that their armor weighs at 25 kilograms, which is around 55 pounds. Connecting the dots, the average weight of a Stone Warrior is around 252.9 pounds, with the armor if not more. Now plugging back into the scene, we can multiply the average weight of a Stone Warrior by 3, and that gives us 758.7 pounds. They may be able to lift more, since they can lift an entire bus, which weighs around, I don't know, like 33,000 pounds. The Anacondrai can beat people in an arm wrestle, but the Stone Army's enhanced strength proves to be superior. Speed is a good factor when it comes to fighting. Alright, I'll just be straight with you here. The Anacondrai would just demolish the Stone Army here. Just observe for yourself.
Oh, no! We're doomed, guys!
Now watch this.
They're too fast!
Yeah, if one Anacondrai is able to keep up with an Elemental Master of Speed, while said Elemental Master is at super speed, then they should have no problem avoiding attacks from a Stone Warrior. No other explanation is really needed. This one easily goes to the Anacondrai. The best thing about intellect in a battle against an army is that you have to use your brain to achieve victory. That is how an army wins in a battle. They have leaders with good strategy. Both the Anacondrai and Stone Army's leaders are skilled in the battlefield. General Kozu served as the supreme military commander of the army. He displayed a tactical mind when the ninja rode toward the Garmatron fortress on the Ultra Dragon. He waited for the right moment to open fire on them. He was also the only member of the Stone Army to speak the modern language in addition to the ancient language they normally spoke. The army as a whole, on the other hand, are only loyal to whoever wears the Helmet of Shadows. I'm not saying they're dumb or anything, it's just that they do only what the wearer of the helmet wants. The Anacondrai were led by Arcturus, who served as the leader of the Serpentine War. He has led his army to many victories, including his campaign on Jamatakai Village and Birchwood Forest. The Anacondrai as a whole have one thing that the Stone Army don't: a sense of honor. When Chen turned his Anacondrai cultists into fake Anacondrai, the spirits of the Anacondrai generals, including Arcturus, banished Chen and his followers to the Cursed Realm, with Arcturus personally denouncing Chen. The generals also thanked Lloyd for bridging the gap between the humans and the Serpentine. It's a pretty debatable topic, but I'd have to give this one to the Anacondrai. This is probably the most predictable one out of all the other categories. It's a pretty dead giveaway as to how much the Stone Warriors and the Anacondrai can take before succumbing to pain. The Anacondrai have durable skin that can withstand a blast of an elemental power, as shown here when Chen mocked Kai's attempts to use his BBQ powers on the Crime Lord. But in terms of stamina, they show wariness for a specific amount of time, as shown here when they were lifting the rotojet across the canyon. They're huffing and puffing and waiting to take a break. The Stone Army on the other hand can withstand a lot more. They were created by the Overlord to withstand the might of Golden Power, the strongest element in Ninjago. Sure, they were knocked aside by the ninjas' attacks, but they also have limitless stamina, as shown here when they fell down a bunch of stairs and literally got back up and continued to give chase. Plus, Lloyd said it himself.
At best, all my powers could do was slow them down.
Also, when Kozu was accidentally fired from the Garmatron, he crashed into a window. If a normal human were in his position, glass or floor is going to feel like concrete. Because of their indestructible title and seemingly endless stamina, it's pretty obvious that the Stone Army takes the endurance section. What makes both armies unique is what they can do without the use of weapons. Outside of their seemingly endless stamina and superhuman durability and physical strength, the Stone Army don't really have any impressive feats at their disposal. Sure, they can speak in an ancient tongue, but what are they going to do against the Anacondrai? Challenge them to a spelling bee? The Anacondrai, on the other hand, can turn invisible, allowing them to sneak past their enemies, or give them a good old jump scare. This ability alone gives the Anacondrai the trophy on this one. Here are the scoreboard and end results. This versus matchup was a very close call, and because of their indestructibility and unlimited stamina, the Stone Army can prove to be a great challenge against the Anacondrai. But with their speed, tactics, and abilities to turn invisible, the Anacondrai have much more up their sleeve. It could go either way, but I wouldn't say that the Anacondrai would kill the Stone Warriors, but they would most likely tire the snakes out with their limitless stamina. But they would more likely run away and turn invisible. The winner of this versus matchup is the Anacondrai.
Good. Only one can remain.
I hope you enjoyed this video. The research took a lot out of me, so please show your love and support by subscribing to my channel to watch more videos. And also, if you want to see more versus matchups in the future, let me know in the comment section. Alright, that's enough from me, so thanks for watching. Stay awesome, everyone.